every single time you try something new in your life recently, it just doesn't work, you know? If that sounds familiar for you, then tune in. You might be led to think that you're crazy, that you can't focus, or you're a procrastinator, which just isn't true. Instead, it's actually human nature to desire a challenge and try new things. The real problem is that your environment enables you to make subconscious decisions that may not be in favor of achieving your goals. In this video, I'll show you 3 mistakes that are keeping you stuck in the control of your environment and exactly how to fix them. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Making big changes, but keeping the same triggers. Over the past 2 years, I've moved houses 3 times, which made some parts of my life easier, but I still found myself falling into bad habits. This is because I brought the same setups, routines, and cues with me. Things like the same desk and room setup, not messy, but overcluttered, definitely. The same phone habits, social media, front and center, too easy to access, that it became subconscious. The same nightly routine, staying up until I feel tired before going to sleep, and then wondering why I'm still not getting good sleep, and showing up late. Habit research in behavioral psychology shows that habits are automatically triggered by behavioral cues, not intention. If these cues stay the same, then the behavior will stay the same. Studies show that habits are context-dependent automatic responses and will continue unless cues are disrupted. For me, instead of just a location change, I needed a cue reset. When I moved and changed spaces this time, I didn't just replicate what I had before. Instead, I changed the layout of my space, taking into consideration object placement and timing of routines. I recently reset my working desk to have only absolute essentials and necessities, things like my water bottle, books, stationery, and plants. Anything else that may cause a distraction has been completely removed from the desk and has its own very intentional home that is out of the way and not in my peripheral to cause a distraction. If you've implemented any of these and have seen success or even failure, I'd love to hear about it. I've linked my Discord channel below where you can join and talk to other like-minded people. If you're interested, it's the very first link in the description. Mistake 2. Relying on motivation instead of reducing friction. I used to, and still do somewhat, consume content and tell myself that I know exactly what to do to change each habit. Go to sleep, don't eat junk food, go to the gym, and so on and so forth, right? It's easy to tell myself this, but in reality, I was relying on motivation to get myself to do all of these things without realizing that motivations swing with your emotional state at the time. So I end up still eating junk food, scrolling, and getting into worse shape faster. As humans, we're wired to follow the path of least resistance in whatever we do, to preserve as much energy as possible, like our evolutionary ancestors did. This means it's easy to do things that aren't good for us because it's convenient. Instead, we can make a slight pivot in 2 parts that will drastically change the outcome. Part 1 is make bad habits annoying. Adding friction between yourself and the behavior, because we're less likely to act when the effort is increased, even slightly. As little as 20 seconds of friction will drastically reduce the behavior. In one study, increasing effort to access TV reduced usage up to 90% over time. And part 2, make good habits frictionless. By simply having a water bottle always within reach, maybe choosing to only purchase healthy foods, makes it significantly easier to follow through with good habits. If the best decision is the only decision and any other is not an option, then you're much more likely to follow through with it. And now onto mistake number 3. Mistake 3. Changing environment once instead of designing for consistency. Like I mentioned before, what I had been doing for most of my life is rearranging my space and expecting the changes I want to just happen and stick. Some people I know personally try to work in too many different environments, but aren't able to find consistency. Forming habits depends on repetition in a stable context, and consistent environment, like your workspace, for example, builds strong habits automatically. Whereas an inconsistent environment, such as going to the park, then the coffee shop, and then back home, and then to the library, will make it hard for any of them to stick. Research shows that repeating behaviors in the same context significantly increases habit strength, only taking about 66 days for habits to become automatic, but only with consistent context. For now, we just need to worry about what's immediately ahead of us. Here's what to do to develop consistency in your environment. Assign specific environments to specific behaviors, such as your desk only for work, no eating food, and no binging movies. Your bed only for sleep, no doom scrolling until you pass out. And then the couch for relaxing and reading. Doing things that you genuinely enjoy, just for leisure, just for the fun of it. This reinforces consistency and allows the environment itself to trigger the behavior you choose automatically. Finally, intentionally implementing these changes into your life will lead to focus and easier decisions because you'll have 1, fewer decisions to make before the default action is already decided. 2, less mental resistance, allowing you to bypass procrastination. And 3, automatic focus as your brain associates environments with mental states and decides what mode to enter. If any of these have helped you personally, then drop a like. Then leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And once again, if you'd like to join my Discord channel, I've linked it below. It's the first link in the description. I'll look forward to seeing you there. Take care.